Just in time. Greetings, everyone. I'm Luke Bryan Smith, and welcome to Enlightened, Empowered, Evolved, where we educate, motivate, and liberate you through enlightening dialogues, empowering music, and evolving content. I'm excited yet again because my next extraordinary guest is an international motivational speaker, licensed professional counselor, certified professional clinical supervisor, clinical hypnotherapist, and certified clinical trauma specialist. Wow, with more than 15 years of experience helping individuals transform their lives from the inside out. And there's a whole lot more, and we'll get into it. But without further ado, allow me to introduce to you Marcia Blaine. How are you doing today, Marcia?
Well, Lou, thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of your phenomenal podcast. I can't wait until we get into this conversation.
Absolutely. And before I move any further, I'd just like to say that I'm a firm believer that time is one of our most precious assets. And for you to choose to spend even a segment of your time here with me
Mhm.
on Enlightened, Empowered, Evolve, I just want to extend my sincerest gratitude. Thank you very much, Marcia, for being here at this present moment.
You're so very welcome. Thank you for the invitation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's just get right into it. So, international motivational speaker. I'm gonna go down the line, the list,
Okay.
and if you can, if it ends up grouping it together with how you articulate it, so be it. But
Mhm.
I'm gonna start right there. International motivational speakers. Give us a little insight on that.
Absolutely. So, literally, I've been back from Paris 3 weeks now, two and a
Wow.
half weeks. I went to Paris as a keynote speaker, talking to a women's empowerment group on Women's International Day about how to understand leadership from gestation to greatness, talking about what leadership processes are, the thoughts behind it, how we as women can show up and become leaders in any industry and change the trajectory of companies because of our level of empathy, how we birth situations and circumstances so that we can pull on the actual gifts of others in order
Mm.
to enhance the vision of a business. And then, of course, Canada, Dubai, places like that where I've done virtual sessions as well. Just ultimately, my goal is to help empower other people to have a voice and be strong in who they are and their purpose. So that's me in a nutshell.
Wow, amazing. Thank you. Thank you for giving us a bit of clarity on that. Let's go down the line. Still, licensed professional counselor. Give us a little insight how that came to be and what your particular um, style or way of counseling is. What does it entail? What some of your experiences or anything that you want to share in regard to being a professional counselor.
Absolutely. So I had this question asked of me today when I was at a career day at the elementary school here. They said, well, why did you become a therapist? And how did I become a therapist? And the how came to life when I was a junior in high school and took my first psychology class. That actually expanded my desire to understand psychological behavior and mental wellness. I also wanted to really have an understanding of why people behave and do like they do. So that was the path of my life to go into school and get my degree and my experience. So I've been a mental health therapist now for 15 years. I sidetracked for a little bit, raised my children, and then went back to school and got my all of my degrees and the alphabet soup behind my name. Um, for me as a therapist, ultimately my goal and my modality is eclectic, meaning I grab things from every modality around in order to enhance the wellness of an individual. I just finished teaching a month ago, the end of February, I just finished teaching a 6 hour course on how to decolonize mental health. We know that mental
Wow.
health protocols, mindsets, everything that we read and understood was built on the back of a white male perspective.
Mm,
My goal in this
wow.
day and age is to break down that idea that we have to be stuck in the cycle of something that doesn't belong to us. It doesn't capture our mindset. It doesn't capture our culture. It doesn't capture an understanding of who we are. So in that 6.5 hours, I think it was, I talked to other therapists, training them how to utilize techniques from a Afrocentric perspective and a
Right.
cultural understanding of how we can help our party, our gender, our our race, our identity to move outside of all of these imprisoned mindsets
Right.
so that we can be free.
Right.
Our bodies are wrecked with post-traumatic stress disorder,
Mm,
passed all the way down from slavery and before our people were enslaved, when they were captured off the African coast and forced and brought here. That's where our anxiety and our stress and all of those things begin. So my goal is to help people to understand that what you're experiencing right now isn't the totality of your stress. It's way back then. That's why I'm a certified trauma specialist, because I get into your childhood. I dig deep as a clinical hypnotherapist.
root causes. And I'm
Root
sorry for
causes. No, no, no,
interrupting you.
no. You don't have to apologize. I like that kind of back and
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah.
I,
Root causes.
I go to the root cause of
Right.
what it is that you're experiencing, because again, it's not right now. We're not responding in a right now situation. It may seem familiar, but
Right.
our mind and our body has kept the score of the past, of our own past, and even of our ancestral past.
Right.
So yeah.
Right. Wow, Marcia, you said so much, and but I'm just going to elaborate on what I can just recall right off the bat right now. And I'm thankful that this is being recorded because I'm going to go back and listen to what you said, not only what you said, but how you said it.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and then I'll get to my point, because I can hear a certain know about a certain subject matter or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but I enjoy hearing people put their perspective on it in the way that
Mm-hmm.
they say it. It just affirms things that I know, already know,
Mm-hmm.
teaches me more,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just amazing. But you
Mm-hmm.
said something that was really powerful. A lot of things, everything you said was powerful. But what stood out to me is the decolonization of the mind. And I've
Mm-hmm.
been, and it's no coincidence that I've been watching, um, information
Mm-hmm.
and segments on that online about
Mm-hmm.
decolonizing the mind. And when we say that, people don't have to be afraid of that, and I'm talking about
Right.
everyone don't have to
Mm-hmm.
be afraid just because of that. The decal, what do you mean, be sensitive?
Mm-hmm.
No, 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 because
Mm-hmm.
we defend ideologies that are not our own, and things that we have attached our identity to that
Mm-hmm.
is not our own.
Right.
And awareness is key, because once you become aware, because oftentimes we don't even know that we've been, programmed
Bamboozled.
programmed a
Mm-hmm.
certain way, but it was all to feed into a certain narrative, and most of the
Absolutely.
time it was involving disempowerment
Absolutely.
of a people, of us. um so I have a shirt on right now,
Mm-hmm.
so this is not, I didn't even know what you were going to say, but
You
it's
didn't.
probably read backwards, but it says, I am
I'm
taking
taking knowledge
knowledge
back
back
from
from
those with.
those who have taken it from me.
Absolutely.
You see,
Absolutely. I need
that
that
goes
shirt. So you
into
need to
what
send
you
me the
just said.
link.
Yeah.
You need to send me the link so I can get that, because here's what our
No, this
truth
is my
is.
shirt. I made these. I make
Oh, well,
these.
you need to
Yeah.
send me a link so I can order
Okay.
me one,
Yeah.
because what we need to recognize is our language, our beliefs, our abilities were stolen. Our
Right.
processes came and built an entire country without us coming here,
Right.
dragged here. America wouldn't look like America today.
Right.
Our language was stolen because they were more afraid that if we were able to effectively communicate with each other, we would overthrow the entire country and take over this continent, this
Right.
side of the world.
Right.
we have to recognize, and this is something that I share with young people all the time, even when their parents don't share with them, I like to share with them, you have to know your history
Right.
and understand while we were enslaved, our history began way before then.
Right.
Our ancestral passages was way before then. And so we have to, one, get people to really understand you've been stuck in this artificial bubble, breathing
Right.
air that doesn't belong to you. And you
Right.
have to decide at what point do I want the truth? I just shared with a podcast guest, we were talking about the ideology of wokeness, people
Right.
saying that I'm woke. Well, here's the truth, we're waking up to the stolen knowledge.
Mm.
We're waking up to our birthright power.
Right.
We're waking up to our ability to change any room we walk in.
Right.
That's
Right.
our wokeness. Now, whatever anybody else want to define it as, that's their business. It's usually something to try to manipulate somebody else, or mental gymnastics is what I call it. But our wokeness is because we have finally tapped into the source within our body of knowledge and understanding. So
There it
we're
is.
awake.
DNA
Mm-hmm.
in the DNA, interwoven in the
Yes,
DNA, interwoven into the melanated
absolutely.
melanin. So yeah,
But you know,
the
that's what they're jealous of, actually. They're jealous of the DNA,
yes. No, no, no. I've read, that's
the
why I educate myself. It's like I've read, and it's not, that's not even being trying to be you already know that when we start talking about empowerment, oftentimes it's
Mhm.
brushed off as being, oh, militant, or
Uh-huh.
you're
Mhm.
being racist to some extent too.
Mhm.
No, 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 no. Empowering yourself and knowing where you come from, there's no part of that's anything to do with being racist. That's what every culture does.
Well, you know, the
Empowers
thing about
themselves. It powers them their self. So
exactly
it's like when we do it, why is it has to be a negative stigma attached to it? So no, no, I've
fear.
yeah,
It's fear.
it's
It's
fear.
fragility and it's fear. But I want to, if you'll give me this
No,
moment
no,
to
you
get understanding to the audience. Black people
right,
can't be racist.
right,
The
right. We
reason
don't
why you
have the
can't be racist, we don't own the systems.
we don't have
In
the
order,
economic fortitude to do that.
we have the
So
economic fortitude, we
I
don't
mean, we
have the
do. We don't
systems,
have the
right?
system. You're
We
right.
don't
You're right. You're
own the
right. Thank you
systems.
for
We
that
don't
correction.
own any banking systems. We don't own any communicative
Educational system,
systems, educate none of the systems that have
finance,
locked us out. We
finance.
can't own. You can't be racist if you don't have ownership of
Right,
a particular of things. We
right,
can be discriminatory. We can
right. There you
discriminate
go.
all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. But when I see people online saying, well, you're a racist, no, that just means that you're uneducated to what racism actually is, because I don't own any systems. My
Thank
people
you.
don't own any systems. Now, if we were in the continent of Africa, and this is for the people that think that Africa is just a country, it's a whole continent. It's a whole
Continent.
continent.
Right, with
And
many
so
countries.
with I believe it's 52 countries, if I'm
Yes.
not mistaken,
Yes. Africa's not just
um,
one place with one language.
at all. And the truth is this: in Africa,
Right.
they can't even be racist right now.
Right.
Burkina Faso is changing that
Mm.
because they're taking ownership of the systems back. They're taking ownership of all the gems and the oil and all of the
Minerals.
natural resources that are available in Africa. After they take that back and they kick out all of those that have come in and attempted to colonize and steal and rob and murder and rape and all those things that they did, once they take it out, then you can say Africa is racist. But until then, we still have to contend with the fact that these folks have come from other places and tried to steal the land. So you can't even be
I just
racist
tried.
in
I just
Africa.
tried.
Well, they did. They did. But I love the African leadership now because they're
Right.
coming on one accord and deciding this is our continent. So you're going to leave and we're going to bring it back together. What we have to do on the American side, I believe, is understand the connected pride in that.
Right. Right.
Understand, even with this current war with Iran, right?
Right. Right.
Iran said, we need to let it be known. We'll have an issue with Black people.
Right.
We don't.
Right. Right.
because it's not us.
They know we don't have any
Systems.
yeah, we don't have any control over the narrative of the
Hmm.
US. So
Right.
oftentimes, having a US passport, they say you get frowned upon in another country. Well, not me,
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
I don't control anything, and they know that
Exactly.
as a people, I don't have any control over anything. Another
Hmm.
thing I wanted to educate, you probably already know, but just put this out there because you mentioned it when you talked about the trauma of being brought in us being brought here.
Fiction.
That
Hmm.
that's true, but I just learned this just recently.
Hmm.
A lot of us were native here already. Like
Yes.
if you look at
Yes.
the
Hmm.
parts of the Grand Canyon that they've closed
Hmm.
off that you can't
Hmm.
go, it was
Hmm.
because they saw a lot of African carvings,
Yep.
things that were in Africa. Now that wasn't done during slavery, so
It was not.
that had to be done
So
thousands
when
of
that
years
was
before that.
done, absolutely, what ended up happening, and this is kind of like a geography lesson, when the world experienced this great freeze
Right,
and the world started shifting, that's how the movement took place. Our melanated DNA owns this planet.
right,
We have been in every facet of this planet. What happened, especially when situations like the Grand Canyon is they needed to cover up the
right,
expansiveness of who we are, which
right,
is why they hid all of those things. If you talk to a Native American tribe, they will tell you they were here before we were here.
right,
If
right.
you talk to anyone else in reality, we were here, and we being any one of melanated sources were already here. The
Yes,
big freeze, the shifting of the rotation of the earth on its axis caused us to then begin to move further from the center force of what Africa is. Of course, Africa is the secondary name, it's not the original name, but
right,
that's
right,
where that force came from.
right,
And people, that's where personally, I'm Gen X, I'm almost 60 years old. I think that we failed younger generations by not helping to educate them early on.
right.
We
Yeah,
counted on schools to bring about knowledge. They're not going to teach about us. They're not going to teach truth because the fragility, especially in the white male mindset, is the one that has been guiding and directing everything,
right,
only so that they don't lose footing. They started a whole war so they don't lose footing.
right, right.
That's just
Yes,
what the
yeah,
reality is.
yeah, that is true. And I've also and this is not coincidental, but they found they did research in Africa to some of the mummies and stuff there
Mm-hmm,
and contents in their stomach. There was things that they had ingested that
mm-hmm,
only grew here in
mm-hmm,
North America. So what does that
mm-hmm.
tell you? They traveled,
Exactly.
went back. So
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
yeah, so it's all coming out, and I'm thankful that we're in a period of waking up, and it's
mm-hmm.
nothing to do with hate.
At
When
all.
people try to attach that to hate, that just tells you, like you said, uneducated.
Mm-hmm,
Uneducated. Because if
mm-hmm.
you educate yourselves on facts, that's nothing to do with that. That has to do with
Exactly.
just educating. And like you said, this education system that we've been a part of
Mm-hmm.
has not been in place to tell us, number one, the truth, and it has not
Right.
been there to empower you. You
At
know,
all.
uh,
Mm-hmm,
it's to teach a narrative that they wanted you to know. And
mm-hmm.
I can even just use as an example, a simple example, Columbus discovering a place that
How
was
you gonna discover something that's already in existence?
already occupied, already been visited,
Mm-hmm,
and
mm-hmm.
I'm thankful that that's you know
The truth is coming out.
and
Mm-hmm,
slowly dissipating that.
mm-hmm.
Like the thing is, and when I see things on the internet where I don't think, okay, let me say this. I never come from a place that I think I'm just better than someone. I look
Right.
when I say I'm better, I'm better than who I used to be because I know more
Mm-hmm,
now.
mm-hmm,
Um,
mm-hmm.
and so somebody can say something on online that I can just tell that they have no type of, they're speaking through emotions. They're speaking
Mm-hmm.
through uh, trying to protect their power, their
Mm-hmm.
um, superiority. So when
Mm-hmm.
things are said, most of the time I don't even engage. Like, I'll
Yeah.
give you an example. If somebody says, "Oh, they see something like a crime on TV," oh yeah, typical of that. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
come on, man, come on, man. Like, and I'll give you an example. And this isn't about hate. This is just truth.
Mm-hmm.
How can someone say, like, okay, oftentimes I've ran into videos. I try to streamline my experience on social media so I don't really run across too many things. But once in a while, something will
Yeah.
slip through the cracks and it will get my attention. I'll just be
Mm-hmm.
honest. Let me
Mm-hmm.
be transparent.
We're human. Mm-hmm.
Like someone stealing something, and then I'll see a
Mm-hmm.
comment. Oh yeah, things that yeah, yeah, that's typical. And I feel like
Mm-hmm.
saying, how can you, as a non-melanated person, talk
Mm-hmm.
about stealing when you have put a I don't know how to put this, but
Entire move in place
you
of
have
stealing, robbing,
stolen,
murdering,
yeah, stolen
raping, pillaging. Mm-hmm.
everything in the entire world. But you
Absolutely.
talking about this brother stealing something out of a car? Get out of here. It's way bigger than that. Way bigger
And
than
the
that.
thing is they want us as a collective whole to be responsible for everything that one black person does, but they don't
Does.
want to take responsibility for all
Or
that they
talk
folks
about
have done.
I'll give you another example. Talking about
Mhm.
violent nature. Wait a minute, hold on. When the earth was it colonized in a friendly manner?
Not at all.
Tell me if North America, we in here, right? Was it asked,
Mhm.
can we take this? Come on, man. Don't talk to me about no violent nature. Come on.
But they do that because if they can set the narrative
Right,
to make you believe that all black people are violent,
right. That's not
then
in
they
our
feed
nature
into the
as a
narrative.
whole.
It is not in
It
our
isn't
nature. We
like
are, that's how we
revenge
ended up
and
being
treating you.
colonized.
Nah,
That's how we end up being colonized because of our welcomingness.
right.
Even the Native Americans, that's how they were colonized and taken over because of their welcomingness. That's not in our natural DNA. It's
No,
a responsive DNA
right.
when we have gotten to the place of violence and things of that nature, but it's not a part of our natural DNA
No,
because we are warm and receiving individuals. The truth is that if I can get you to believe that you're less than me, and make you stay in that space of
right,
being a thought of as less than, and I convince someone that doesn't have your education, that doesn't have your intellectual opportunities or anything like that, to make them believe that you're less than them. Guess what? They don't want to lose their status, so they're going to
right.
believe it. They're going to dive into it and be like, you're less than me. I'll tell people all the time, when we went to vote for President Obama,
Yeah,
the first and second time, I was amazed at the number of toothless people with holes in their shoes, scraggly looking, uneducated individuals standing there saying, well, we don't need a black man in office. We'll give more with a white man. You don't even have any teeth. You don't even have on decent shoes. But
right,
yet, this is what you're going to, and it really does. It eats into the fragility of I need to feel more empowered. When you think about things like Tulsa, Oklahoma, when you
mhm.
think about Rosewood, Florida, places like that, where the only reason why those
New
areas were
York,
attacked, New York, Central Park,
Central Park. We know
mhm.
that.
Here in Georgia, Lake Lanier
Lake
was
Lanier.
they flooded an entire black booming area and city, all because of white male fragility, ego-driven, testosterone-driven individuals who have no idea how to be emotionally regulated or controlled.
Right,
Period.
right,
That's where the issue is. And when we start attacking each other, saying, oh man, that was so long ago. Listen, if I am a direct descendant of a sharecropper and I got a chance to meet my great 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 grandparents, it wasn't that long ago.
right,
It
right.
wasn't that
And
long
the
ago.
system that we have in place also
Hmm.
now is still the foundation is that. Even
Mhm.
though that's not still going on, it's still beneficial. It hasn't been equaled out. It hasn't
Right.
been made right.
Right.
It's I'll give you an example, and I'm glad we've taken this turn. A lot of people don't understand when they talk about us as a people and say, "How come you can't do this?" You got to
Mhm.
remember, for hundreds of years, people came from Europe and got free land,
Mhm.
hundreds of
Mhm.
acres for
Mhm.
many
Mhm.
years.
Many years.
How can you catch up with that in that? So now you got a lock on most of the real estate. You know,
Right.
so
Right.
and so yeah, even the poorest Europeans come here you go,
Well, let's
and
break it down further though.
yeah,
Let's look at what the real truth is. Most of those early settlers were individuals who were black spots
right,
in the European culture.
right,
They
right.
weren't wanted. They
Indentured
were
servants
literally
themselves.
you either had to go to America and rough life out or remain here as an indentured service because we
There you
already
go.
think that you don't have what it takes to be a decent person in our world. So they were sent to America. That's number
Right,
one. They didn't just come over
right,
here. They were sent here because
right,
they weren't found valued enough to remain in their home country. The
right.
second thing that we want to be able to look at is when we recognize when our people were enslaved here. Remember, they didn't learn how to bathe and come out of caves until we taught them.
Right.
They
And
didn't know how
the
to.
what do you call the system of the toilets and all the systems.
Mhm, mhm.
I can't. It's
They
slipping my
didn't know anything about
anything about that.
hygiene.
Yeah, the
Yeah, they didn't know
hygiene.
anything about hygiene. They didn't know how to engineer systems. They learned all of that from Africa, which is why when you think about it, the whole ideology of Tesla came from stolen scrolls that were actually in tombs in Egypt. Well, what is Egypt? Black, all
Right,
day, every
right.
day.
Kemet used to
And
be
so,
Kemet.
Kemet, and so all of those ideologies were already here on this planet.
Right.
Nothing new has been invented. And I often say there's nothing new under the sun. We have to tap into our knower and know what to pull out at the time.
We
Our
actually trying to catch
ideas.
up to where we were already.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm
Absolutely.
talking
And
about even technological, spiritual, all that. We trying to catch up to where we
trying to play
have
catch
already
up.
been thousands of
Hmm.
years ago.
And
And I watch a
exactly.
brother named Billy Carson and
Hmm.
online, and he knows.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And oh no, you're fine. It's just the idea that when you think about people that were not valued, sent to a land that they conquered
Right.
through manipulation, getting all the benefits, and then being told, you pull yourself up out of bootstraps. Well, you didn't have any bootstraps. I just
Right.
saw a thing the other day where actually the Baroness did a breakdown on the resident of 1600 and his
Right.
family, how they kicked the granddaddy out of Germany and said, don't come back. Because
Right.
he initially left because he was dodging going to the military.
Mm,
Came over
right.
here, started a whorehouse
Mm,
and land and a brothel and all those kind of things, and then decided, oh, I made some money, I'm going back. They found a letter where he wrote to um, to the palace saying, please, please, please allow us to come back. This is hard on my family to be separated, yada, yada, yada. But here, your direct descendant is, you know, putting these things in place about immigration. You were
right.
kicked out.
Right.
You were kicked out. And when we start looking at that, it's sad to me when
Right.
we, as melanated people, don't want to learn. We don't want to
There
understand
it is.
the power that we have. Exactly.
Oftentimes, what I've learned, Marcia, is that people a lot of times they don't want their illusions
Hmm.
challenged, because
Hmm.
okay, it's almost like if you go to the house, which we call it the house
Hmm.
Negro slave mentality. Oh, I got it good in here. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I don't want to disrupt this.
Hmm.
So that's the mentality. Okay, I got
Hmm.
it good. This. It's like, do you really got it good?
as good as they knew at that time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because we can only base it on what was happening at that time. They knew
Thank you.
that although the house servants weren't being physically beaten and to a degree, they were still being raped. They
Right.
were still being passed around. They just weren't in the
Yeah.
hot sun.
And
You know what I'm
dehumanized.
saying? Exactly.
Dehumanized
Um,
by the way they're spoken to and dealt with.
exactly.
Sit in the back, eat
And
these crumbs.
exactly. But the thing about it is, we would take those crumbs and make them tasteful.
Right. Oh yeah. See,
And
that's
then
a
they
whole
would
nother
want it on,
thing.
they would want it on their table because where they thought that they were stopping us, they to this day they are still trying to figure out how we continue to rise,
Thrive.
thrive,
In
and
regard
rise.
to
Hmm.
all the things that have been put in place
Hmm.
to not deter us, but stop.
Hmm.
And
Hmm. Hmm.
so yeah, we've been studied and continue to be studied. There's things that go on
Absolutely.
where they in the name of, oh, we trying to help these people. No, they taking your DNA in Africa.
Hmm.
They taking trying to figure out how to get protection like you from the sun.
Hmm.
Why are you physically as a whole
Hmm.
stronger?
Hmm.
Minimize the fact that a lot of the inventions that we deal with now we don't have. It's not publicly known, you know,
Mm.
even down to this phone here.
Hmm.
And we
Hmm.
know this. See, and the thing
Right.
is, that's why I'm at a point, like I said, I'm not trying to seem arrogant, but you can't say any old thing to me now
You
because I've been
cannot.
educated too much. So, you know what I mean? And I'm still learning. I don't know everything. I don't know half of everything, but I know way more than I used to know. So those narratives no longer work on me anymore because I know. And even if I don't know, I have the the intellect to go and search and find out
Hmm.
beyond just Google. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So yeah, so it is.
And what I would say to that is this. I don't care what room I walk in. I'm already the expert. I
There you
don't
go.
care.
There you go.
I don't care who's sitting in the room. Nobody intimidates me because the breadth of knowledge that I have came down through ancestral lineage.
Mm,
I have wisdom that I didn't even ask for.
there you go.
So yeah, if you think I'm better than you, you're right. I'm not gonna change your mind. I'm not gonna change your mind about that. If that's what you're thinking, then it's not on me to change
Yeah,
your
I'm
mind.
not gonna
I
shrink.
know who I am. I'm not going to dim my light to make you
Dumb
comfortable.
down.
Even exactly, even last year when I went to, I was called to testify at Congress
Right.
about the Veterans Administration and all of that. And people said, "Well, did you feel nervous?" No. For
Mm,
what? What
yeah, for
what
what?
what exactly could they do to me?
Right.
We get dressed one leg at a time, and I get to control my mouth. Nervous for what? They're
Right.
human just like I am. Some of
Right.
them probably a little less human than I am.
Mm,
But when we walk in a state of confidence,
right.
not cockiness, but
Right.
confidence in
Confidence.
who we are,
Yeah.
you don't have to, I don't care if you want me to dim my light. I'm not. I own the room. How
Here,
can I dim? I'm like Shirley Chisholm, baby. Scoot up. I got my own chair.
here's my thing, Marcia.
Hmm.
Marcia, what you just said. When you walk
Hmm.
in your power of knowing who you are and being
Hmm.
confident within yourself, and it doesn't mean that we're not flawed. We all are. I think I
We
say
all are.
that I'm a work in progress and a masterpiece, and I live
Hmm.
like that.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
so what I'm trying to tell you is that's being that way. You
Hmm.
shake the snakes
Of
out the trees
course.
like that because
Mhm.
it convicts them just
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
of the way that you are, and you're not doing anything uh uh I would say
Malicious or hurtful.
malicious, or
Hmm.
your intentions are pure. They're not like,
Hmm.
oh, let me act like this so I can make you feel uncomfortable. No.
Right.
If you feel uncomfortable, then there's something wrong. Because I
Exactly.
came in here being respectful but
Hmm.
confident and
Hmm.
yeah, respectful to everyone. And if you feel like that, my keeping my head up and sharing, being who I am, just being who I am,
Mm-hmm.
makes you feel a certain way, then that's something you got to take up with you.
Well, the truth is that you and I, few white people, few Asian people, we can all walk into a room at the same time with the same level of knowledge. And
Right.
you and I are going to be automatically identified by nothing more than our skin.
Exactly.
No one else has to justify why they need to be in a particular room.
There you go.
We walk into rooms and we have to justify why our blackness has shown up, why this brown skin has shown up. We
Or
could be smarter than.
overly or
Mhm,
overly show that we're not a
mhm.
threat.
Exactly. Proving we can be smarter than everybody that we just walked in with. And the truth is, they're not ready for that. They'd rather look at us as someone that's intimidating them. Often get amazed when I was in the federal government for so many years that I would walk into uh, conferences or walk into meeting rooms with with being the expert
Right.
walking into the rooms. And because I would not dummy down who I was, you could see the discomfort on the faces. You could see these rosy cheeks showing up like, oh my God, did she
Right.
really say that?
Right.
And I I did have
You're aware.
a white. I'm very aware, and I did have a white
Intuitive.
gentleman one time say, "You need to tone it down." I said, "I don't know how to tone it down. I hadn't learned how to play the game. So you
Right.
either accept me as I am, or ask me to leave. You
Right.
probably don't want me to leave because I'm the only expert in here that knows what you're talking about. Because you don't
Thank you.
know.
Thank you.
When you walk in that space of confidence and understanding with yourself, you never have to apologize.
Oh, no.
We've got to stop begging people to let us be in spaces that we run.
Right. Right.
Just show up.
Or trying to receive validation.
Hmm. Oh,
No,
yeah,
I
yeah,
validate myself.
exactly.
That's it.
I'm my greatest asset.
There
I'm
you
my
go. I
biggest
validate
hero, and
myself.
I am my best cheerleader. I'm
Yeah.
going to
There you
lift
go.
me up. I'm going to reach in and say, "Hey, girl, you good? All
Mm,
right, what
there
we
you
need
go.
to do to get
Self-care.
better."
Hmm.
Exactly. And in knowing that when you walk in those spaces of confidence, you don't need anybody else to validate your presence, because here's what happens when you need external validation.
Mm,
When you are striving for people to like you, see you, acknowledge you, you
mm.
become a puppet on their string.
There you go. And they have
I don't
control
like.
over you.
Exactly. And I don't like to be played with. So
Right.
I don't get on anybody's string.
There you
So
go.
validate yourself.
There you go.
Yeah.
Empower yourself. I just made a seg.
Mm-hmm.
I'll share it with you after, but I just shared something like that. Empower yourself through
Mm-hmm.
everything. Empower
Mm-hmm.
yourself. Don't look for someone else. Other people can
Mm-hmm.
help empower you, or if you
Yeah.
allow
Yeah.
them, disempower you.
Mm-hmm.
If you allow them,
Mm-hmm.
I'm at
Mm-hmm.
a space. I'm thankful. And this is again, it's not from arrogance. It's the truth. I'm at a space
Mm-hmm.
in life where I can't allow anyone to disempower me anymore. I can't.
Exactly.
It don't even register. So
Exactly. It does. It's
it'll
not
look
real.
yeah it'll look
Mm-hmm.
as obvious
Mm-hmm.
like
Mm-hmm.
a naked dog in the middle of the road. It's like it's like obvious
Exactly.
like you trying to it ain't working. And the more that I am aware of it, the more it won't
Mm-hmm.
work. So, but
Mm-hmm.
that's amazing. Yes, let's get into this now
Okay.
because I don't want to lose focus on highlighting what you have here, but thank you for that amazing, empowering conversation. Amazing. But I want to tap into your particular one counseling before we conclude here because we're running short of time, and I wanted to make sure
Okay.
I highlighted that particular one
Okay.
counseling.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a bit about that and how can we tap in?
Okay.
Okay.
So Peculiar One Counseling, there's a verbiage and a verse in the Bible that said, "I call my people out of darkness into the marvelous light, and I call them to be peculiar people."
Okay.
That's where that came from. I am a peculiar person. I often say there's no room in a box for me. The only boxes that were made for me is either a casket or an urn, and I'm not ready for either yet. I can't be put into a box. I am that peculiar one. I operate outside of what seems to be the norm. I
Mm,
always often tell people don't let the smooth face of education and intellect fool you. I
right.
am the peculiar one. So
Yeah.
my counseling service is Peculiar One Counseling, located outside of Atlanta, Georgia,
Okay.
where I offer individual, group, and couples therapy. I'm also a clinical hypnotherapist. I also provide ketamine services for people that are stuck in their trauma, that have difficulty moving past that place so that we can open
Right.
their subconscious. My umbrella company is Marcia Blaine Brands, which is where everything else is housed, from the podcast to meditation albums to the books that I sell to the newsletters that I write weekly. So um, it's a full identity of me. People can follow me on any social media at Authentically Peculiar Marcia. Uh, I would encourage, go out to my YouTube page. That's where everything gets dropped. 5 minute meditations gets dropped there almost every morning. The podcast is there. Meditation albums are there. That's simply Authentically
And what's the
Peculiar
name of
with
your
Marcia.
podcast? I'm sorry. What's the name of your podcast?
Authentically Peculiar
Oh,
with
that's right. That's
Marcia.
right. You said that. Okay. Just
And
wanted to highlight
so
that.
you go out there, you can see it on Spotify, you can see it on Amazon. The goal of my podcast is empowerment. I want people to understand that they don't have to be stuck in what their life used to look like.
Mm,
You can live, grow, and move forward and not stay stuck. So, yeah, that's
facts.
how you get in contact with me. Yeah, that's it.
Wow, amazing. Thank you again, Marcia,
You're
for that
welcome.
for sharing with us and for just having a an amazing life affirming, what I like to call life affirming, just elegant, eclectic. I'm using some of your words now.
You.
Dialogue with me, and I appreciate it because, and you'll know where I'm going with this. Steel sharpens steel. So
Yes.
here we go, and and I feel sharper after encountering you. So, and
Thank
I'm
you.
thankful. I'm thankful. Thank you very much again
Thank
for
you for
being
letting
here.
me have a voice on your platform. This was wonderful. It was
Absolutely.
empowering. And I really hope that the audience walks away with the idea of I need to get to know me,
Mm,
not through the lens of other people, but who I am
there you
and who
go.
I was, created to be. Yeah.
Facts right there. Right there. I'm not adding no more to that. So thank you everyone for watching and or listening. Be sure to hit that like button, that subscribe button, share this. Not only help the platform grow, but get this information out there. Empower yourself. Yes. Thank you very much. And until next time, love and appreciation, enlightened, empowered, evolved.